Hey everybody, welcome back to the program. I am very excited because one of my favorite singer, songwriters, musicians is here in the vinyl pad from the UK, Jacob, aka Puma Blue. Thank you so much for coming
Thanks
by.
for having me, man.
Did you approach this any differently than your debut?
Yeah, hugely.
Okay.
The first one was almost about like getting away from what I'd been doing on the EPs a little bit and trying to show a different side, but it was still this kind of idea of I wanted to kind of make like a headphone listen, like a intimate project.
Yeah.
And then I ended up writing it largely before the pandemic, but recording and producing a lot of it in the pandemic. So I think something I really missed was live shows, and
Yeah.
I feel like my favorite thing about this project is playing with the guys in the band. So for this one, it was more about taking it out of the laptop and into the studio a bit. So I wrote a bunch of songs and recorded demos for them rather than finishing them, and actually took it to the band. And then
Oh, that's great.
it was cool. It was like the first time we've ever been so involved with each other at that point in the process. So like we would rearrange some of my demos together, or like writing completely new songs out of like jams. And
Oh, that's amazing.
so like maybe a third of the songs were like written between the four of us or the five of us, because my friend Luke was there as well. So yeah, it's a lot more live. It's a lot more collaborative. I feel like the energy was very different. I mean, first of all, it's like less self-conscious of this album, because it's not just a reflection of me.
Yeah.
It's like a family photograph. So even if I'm pulling a weird face, I'm like, oh, I love this photo of like us.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I love the fact that this is included, this booklet.
I wanted to like open the book and just feel kind of transported to, I don't know, the process. And everyone was just so important.
Yeah.
Kind of wanted to honor that. But also there was this like bouncing off of each other thing that is what I wanted to capture, because that's what happens live. Like these songs exist, and we keep the structures largely the same. But I've always encouraged the band to like really improvise and express themselves live.
Yeah.
But obviously that isn't allowed to happen when I've just like made a beat and finished the song on my computer and like that's it. So this was cool because a lot of the moments that are my favorite moments just happened spontaneously, like just the chemistry in the room or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm just describing like how a lot of albums are made, but it was just new to me. I just hadn't made music that way, strangely, before.
Right, because like if we even go back to some of your earlier stuff, I mean, it's just you and your computer, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
which is funny because I don't know. I mean, we're just not a band, you know, and we are, and now more than ever, a band. But that's not been the approach. It's been this kind of like solo artist thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was just the first record where I really embraced the fact that we kind of are a band a little bit. And I'm so proud of it because it's like all of their magic, as well as my contributions. So I can kind of just listen and be like enjoying their playing.
Yeah.
Rather than cringing at my own flaws.
Right. It's not all on you.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Side was a huge influence on this record. And it's kind of
interesting.
Always been an important album to me because it's like one of the first albums I like had on my MP3 player that my dad like showed me age 6 or 7 or whatever. But
so you were a cool kid, man.
I don't know. I was honestly not a cool kid, but
we had good taste.
I loved music. Yeah. You know, I really did love music. But it was cool coming back to it more recently. And I don't know, there was just something about the feeling of that album and like the color of it that I wanted to emulate on this a bit. I liked the way it flowed seamlessly. I did that nowhere near as geniusly, if that's a word, as they did. It's not as thought through perhaps, but that was just a conscious decision to have it kind of flowing. Honestly, that song, Us and Them, was like pretty much the reason there's sax in Puma Blue in the first place.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that was a big one. Some of the backing vocals I was listening to.
Yeah, I love you had. It feels like there was more of that on here.
Yeah, I feel like I was trying to use my voice as a more important instrument on this record than the last one. I was kind of burying my voice on the last one. And this time I was like leaning into the vocal diva thing a bit more, just letting it all kind of hang out. And it was fun to sing. I like really expressed myself, and some of the vocal arrangements I like spent a lot of time on, and I'm proud of it.
I get a real strong feeling from your music just in total. Like obviously there's certain songs that like, oh my God, like especially on this, I think it's the second song, but there's like a quiet confidence, but also like a melancholy, but like more of like remembering sweet moments in life versus like super sad, if that makes, I mean, this is what I'm getting out of it. I mean, obviously.
I love, I think music's so powerful because everyone kind of interprets it on their own, right? And you can get help, you know, you can like research what the artist meant by it, or you can ask your friends or whoever, like, what their takeaway was, and you can kind of analyze it. But I think the most beautiful part is that you often come away with your own understanding. So I'm trying to explain myself like less and less, honestly, because people get their own meaning and feelings from it, which is really beautiful.
I mean, I think it's a push, not a push and pull, but I think it's a little bit of you created it and now it's theirs, right? A little bit. And like, obviously you steer the conversation with what you wrote and with the lyrics. Because like, it's always a funny thing. Like so many people think Every Breath You Take, right, is romantic, but then it's like, well,
it's creepy.
Is it? And then also I was just talking.
I love that weird dichotomy that happens.
Yeah, and then The Shape of Your Heart or Shape of My Heart or whatever, Another Stinks, like that. That too is not like.
I was actually thinking of that song when I was writing the last track on this album.
And that's the other thing too, like the incorporation of just the blending of your music is.
Thank you. That's really sweet. I mean, I and the guys in the band, we just listen to so much stuff. And a lot of it doesn't really sound, you know, you wouldn't think based on the music that we put out that that's what we listen to. Some of it you might.
Right, a little Black Sabbath and a little.
Honestly, like, you know, like Burial is like a huge one for me. And
I love Burial,
I think that's coming out more and more. Wearing it on my sleeve. But yeah, I think I've always wanted to make music that was just kind of an amalgamation of my favorite music. And actually the better I get at writing and the more I'm able to access authenticity, the less I'm able to even hold back from my influences kind of coming out. So even in places where I'm like, you know, like in the song Epitaph, I was like singing this vocal melody before I had the lyrics. And I thought, this is reminding me of Anthony Kiedis. But I was like, there's nothing I can do about that. I just grew up on Chili's and they mean so much to me. And even if that's like not what you would pair in your mind necessarily with my music, I was like, I'm just gonna like lean into this because
that's beautiful.
That is like very true to me in a way, you know.
You like being out in Atlanta. I love that area.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, like I got.
Wow, you've really just thought of everything. You're generous. I immediately saw the Jeff.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
And then I saw Julie London, Donnie and Dilla.
I love Julie, yeah.
Yeah, wow. She was a good find because at the time I was very influenced by jazz singers. But I was more listening to people like Billy, and
oh, right.
you know, first of all, she's just got an incredible vocal, like full stop. But she also has this raspiness that I don't have really at all. I don't know, like Billy was really inspiring, but I think finding Julie was encouraging because she has such a like soft little voice.
Yeah.
That is mostly projected with the microphone. Whereas Billy sounds like she could just sing in a dry room and it would sound like perfect. So yeah, she was really inspiring.
There's like a smoky quality.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think it's awesome that your tastes are so varied. You wouldn't think the style that comes out of these records, you're influenced by these other bands, but I like that because that keeps it from getting too like specific or too like derivative of something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think the more you listen to, the more that you're gonna subconsciously channel, and I think it just adds more to the palette. And like you said, it's less derivative that way. Yeah. If you just listen to like one band, you know, and then you're going to sound like that band because that's all the information you have.
You've dipped into classical as well. Like you enjoy...
Love classical music.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents, they were like more, they had better knowledge of classical music than anyone I kind of knew growing up. And I wasn't really interested for a long time. It just didn't speak to me. And then maybe when I was like 14, 15, I found a few pieces that really spoke to me. I think it was like Rachmaninoff and like Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata and some of the more like famous stuff.
Yeah.
And I realized there was something worth exploring, obviously, but I just didn't know that. And now I'm, you know, a geek. I love like Scriabin and Ravel and Shostakovich and there's so much great stuff that I wasn't aware of. I still love Rachmaninoff as well. I feel like a lot of it is present in the music in some way, even if it's just the emotions or like sense of harmony that I'm hearing. I try and emulate that, but it's so hard. I mean, I'm not classically trained. And probably never will be. We'll see.
I was going to ask actually, have you thought about perhaps given the opportunity to score a film?
Yeah, it's been a lifelong ambition, to be honest.
Amazing.
Film is pretty much the next thing aside from music that I care the most about. I've made little short films, and
oh, nice.
I would love to be on that side of it, honestly, like writing a screenplay or directing something. But honestly, even the opportunity to score a film, or God, even if I was just being given the role of like music supervisor,
right,
and like picking the tracks that like already exist, I think I'd have so much fun and put so much like love into it. So yeah, I'm really just waiting for a good opportunity to do that, and hopefully one will come, and if not,
I believe
just make it happen for myself. But yeah, God, doing a film score would be amazing. It'd be a cool opportunity to do something that doesn't really sound like myself at all. I wouldn't be thinking about like my artistic identity. I'd just be like serving the film.
Right.
So that would be a cool challenge.
Your name, what's the origin of that?
I was just going by Jacob Allen for a while, just using my name to play shows. And back when I was like being put on like random bills with other people, showcase type gigs.
Right.
I was kind of getting put on with a lot of like acoustic pop stuff.
Oh.
I think because I was just using my name and I didn't have any music out, probably just sounded like, oh, it's another like folky, poppy singer-songwriter type thing.
Gotcha, okay.
So I wanted a name, I think, because I wanted people to picture something else. not a band, but like some kind of artist project, I suppose. There were a few people that were like using like aliases, like Flying Lotus. I was just like, that's a good choice for that project. So the inspiration was like Delta blues musicians, like
I
loved this like double-barreled superhero name thing, because it sounded like it could almost be their real name in some kind of mythical way, like Muddy Waters or like Howlin' Wolf, Lead Belly. I was like, I want a name that sort of is in tribute to these guys, because they kind of like invented what I've, you know, way down the line, what I'm doing in a way. So that was the initial inspiration. I was just trying to think in my myth, like what would my name be? And I think I had blue written down on a piece of paper like 100 times, and I was just writing other words next to it.
Yeah.
And nothing really fit or made me feel anything. So I was going to move on. And then one day, I think I was watching a nature documentary, and it could have even been a David Attenborough one. Someone in the voiceover was describing a puma.
Yeah.
It's just like sleek, blonde, mysterious thing. And I was like, that's like what I am trying to emulate. If blue is the kind of like dark, melancholic side, the other side is this kind of sexiness or like something, you know, because the two kind of main points of reference for me have always been like Jeff Buckley and D'Angelo. But it especially was back then. That was like very much me trying to make something in the middle there. So yeah, Puma Blue just kind of became that double-barreled alias, and that was really how it happened. Just like wanting my own blues, Delta blues name almost. I don't know if I would even still pick the name now.
Interesting.
That's kind of not the point. It, you know, I just needed a name, and now I have one. It's probably my name forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think about it. It's just what I'm called.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. I mean,
thank you so much.
It's so cool to see you continue to make music and like see your numbers climb. I mean, I know that's not exactly why you do it, but for me, I see it as this is how you get to sustain your art.
Exactly. I'm so grateful to just be doing this. Honestly.
Yeah. I am too grateful.
Yeah. Oh, for me?
Yeah, I'm grateful for your music.
You for yourself. Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Yeah, no.
But I dreamt about this as a child. It sounds so cheesy, but
that's beautiful.
I really did, and I just wanted to do it well, and I think doing it now already feels like such a success just because I'm doing it. I feel like so grateful.
Yeah.
But if I can continue to do it and make music for a job for a long time, then that would be amazing. So yeah, I know what you're saying. The numbers kind of do matter. They matter a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for
stopping on by.
Me.
I appreciate it a lot. It's a chat.
It's lovely to meet you, and
yeah, you as well.
Thank you all so much for watching. I'm your vinyl geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side.